zapatero.
And we are live! Welcome back to Supreme Verdict Magic Community's only live debate show. I'm one of your hosts, Jon Dunning, and as always, I'm joined by my co-seat host right here, Mrs. Pixie Kitten Blaze. What's up?
Hi! I'm so excited for this show tonight. We have some really great competitors. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
This is a star-studded event. This is kind of a bittersweet event because these are all my friends, and I don't want my friends to be mean to each other, but you know what? That is the game.
It's kind of fun to make people be mean to each other, right? It's exciting.
I guess. And before we see people be nice people be mean to each other, we do want to tell everyone about Cardsphere.com, because Cardsphere.com is simply the very best place to buy, sell, and trade your paper Magic the Gathering cards online. So before we get into who is competing tonight, and again, I think I tweeted this out earlier, that yes, the singles championship match between Cat Light and you have Jason Alt and Alex Kessler is happening in December. Someone's going to be a champion of this thing, but they need to be careful because all three of these are no slouches. So I'm expecting a dogfight tonight. Yeah,
definitely. It's going to be rough. I don't know about a dogfight, but okay.
I brought cats to this dogfight, so...
So let's go to the other people that are helping us out. Let's go to the couch real quick. Oh, wait, we only have a Magic with Zuby. Hi, Zoobs.
I feel a little bit lonely on the couch right now.
You get the couch to yourself. It's great.
Well, it's missing some warmth on the couch right now. I can't cuddle my little slivers.
Well, it looks like
I got the little dwarf.
Yeah,
though.
You made some upgrades. It looks like, so you still have the drunken dwarf.
Oh God, I see it.
There's a no kissing sign above your. I don't know what that is. And then it looks like Slivers has been replaced by a 3D dolphin. Is that Echo?
Okay.
What the heck? Oh my God!
I'm not sure what's going on with the couch. Hopefully, we'll have a producer back very soon. But PK, why don't we go ahead and introduce who is competing in this thing tonight?
Let's do it. Yeah.
So introducing first, we have Mr. Ahren. He's the host of Turn One Thoughtseize podcast, modern member of the Church of Orzhova, advocate for smallpox. The card, not the illness. At least I can't confirm or deny, but he's here, so he could tell us. How do you think the veteran modern podcaster is going to fare tonight?
I think he's going to do very well. There's a lot of magic knowledge there, for sure. So, but sometimes you need a little bit something more than just magic knowledge for this show. So we'll see.
Wreck. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I will say the last time we had a modern podcast host on the show, they won that particular show, and Alex Kessler. So let's see if the tradition will stay alive. But why don't we introduce our next competitor, and that is Zenaide Beckham, aka Z-Bex, cosplayer extraordinaire, MTG pack crackster, loves to laugh and live fabulous. What do you think about
so fabulous?
Fabulous.
I think she's going to do great. I'm really excited to see what kind of answers she comes up with. I think they're going to be super creative and just blow away the whole thing. Jeez. I'm sure.
See, it's already tough. So why not add another superstar into the mix? And that is, this man needs no introduction, but Ruben Bressler, Magic Mike's podcasting, the Broken Pack Dungeon Mastering. My inspiration to start interviewing ever. # Don't Feed the Trolls. This man has been in the game for quite a while. What do you think about Mr. Mox Ruby himself? How do you think he's going to fare?
Another really strong contender. I mean, I just think everyone has got different types of backgrounds that are all going to be bringing something different, and it's going to be really interesting to see them all. I'm excited, for sure.
Thoughts from the couch. We're still sliverless, but we do have a no-kiss zone Zuby. How do you think our three competitors are going to fare tonight, sir?
I don't know. I think this might be the most heated one we may have tonight.
Ooh.
So I feel like it's going to be neck and neck and neck on who is going to really pull out here. So I'm kind of excited.
Any early predictions from the couch?
I have a feeling that the Hobbit was telling me that I feel like Ruben is going to come out of the gate swinging, but I think Zenaide takes it at the end.
Ooh. Blood for our Turn One Thoughtseize. Oh, yikes.
Are we just not doing phrasing anymore?
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
Let us officially meet the panel. So introducing first, representing Turn One Thoughtseize, and that is with a record of 0 wins and 0 defeats. We have Ahren. Welcome, sir.
What I heard is undefeated.
Right. Undefeated.
Undefeated, still the champion of this group.
Yes. Well, all three of you are the champion. Yeah.
Tied for first.
John, turn your volume up.
Turn my volume.
Chat is saying, chat is saying turn your volume up.
Perfect. Maybe I'll talk louder into the mic, enunciate. Introducing next, they're gonna really be sad that they asked me to talk louder because I'm gonna get crazy. So, representing Z Bex herself, cosplayers everywhere. Zenaide Beckham, 0 wins, 0 defeats. Welcome back to the channel, my friend.
Thank you for having me tonight.
Of course. I'm so happy that you're back on the channel, and what a great way to have you back. I don't know, are you excited about mixing it up with these two crazy guys?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited, and I agree that they're going to be some great competitors, and I'm excited to see them on the other side of the finish line, before them.
Right, yeah. You had to specify that one.
The smack talk is there. All right. And then introducing, last but not least, representing the Magic Mike's podcast and the Broken Pact D&D campaign, Mr. Ruben Bressler, Mox Ruby himself. Welcome back, sir.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you just, it looks like you just came back from the Oscars.
I did. Yes, I didn't win there, and I didn't realize I was going to be losing so often tonight. But we'll try to not lose this one quite so badly, and we'll see how it goes.
Perfect. All right, so let's get to the rules real quick. There's 4 rounds. Each round consists of opening argument, rebuttal, and closing statement. A question will be asked to the contestants in a rotating order. Each contestant will be given 2 minutes. I don't know why I haven't updated the slide yet for their opening argument. Then 1 minute for rebuttals and 1 minute for the closing statement. In rounds 1, 2, and 4, the grand arbiter, which is myself, will decide who has won the round and will award 1 point to the round winning contestant. 0 points will be given to non-round winners. In the event of a tie, majority chat vote decides. Also, in round 3, this is very important, chat, get ready. Round 3, you are the grand arbiter. You will be judging who wins that round. So, co-host PK, are you ready?
I am ready. I'm so ready. Let's do this.
Couch, are you ready?
Okay.
What?
I'm gonna warn everyone this time. This slide is quite loud, so let's wipe the board.
It's loud.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
All right, so that's the wrong slide. Let's go. 4 rounds to a finish. Let us start out. Do we have the questions ready? Oh, so we put out the Twitter poll, and it looks like this was the closest Twitter poll we've ever had. But it looks like Zenaide is picked by the fans to be the favorite.
What?
To win this thing.
Thank you.
She gets the privilege to choose if she would like to punt the ball or keep the ball, so to speak. Would you like to answer the questions, or you get to pick one of these guys to answer the questions first?
I want to answer the question first.
Ooh,
let's go.
Nice. All right.
Good idea.
So PK, time on the clock.
Yes. I'm sorry. What's the time?
2
1
minutes.
minute?
2 minutes.
Two.
Yep.
2 minutes.
For the opening
Okay.
argument. So PK is going to ask you all a question. Zenaide's going to go first. She's going to get 2 minutes for her opening argument. And then who's going to go after you, Zenaide? Ahren or Ruben?
Let's go ahead and have Ruben go next,
Okay.
since you guys were so doubtful on Ahren, and then we'll let him close it out.
Oh.
Unbridled
Then
savagery that I'm
everyone's
taking.
thoughts-
Have the catbird seat at the end.
Ooh.
Perfect. All right. So whenever...
Am I
what?
Am I
Johnny
here?
is back. Johnny Slivers is
Oh,
back.
Johnny Slivers is back. Hello, producer. Oh, no video yet, but we'll still work on that momentarily. So
We see
go
you,
ahead
John.
and
Don't call me
read
producer.
the question, PK, and then we'll put the time on the clock.
Okay. Question number 1. Time for some non-conventional world building. In the realm of gaming and of geek life fandom in general, we find the existence of the convention, a gathering of people connected by a common hobby or pastime. Conventions of note include, but are not limited to, the likes of PAX, Comic-Con, and GP Magic Fest Las Vegas. Today, we want you to take a geek convention of your choice and turn it into the next best Magic the Gathering set. What convention would you choose? What signature MTG ability would your convention expansion set have? And what are 2 primary creature types or tribes in your set?
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
So
You're like,
when
why
does
did I
my
pick to
time
go
start?
first?
Now, can I go now?
go ahead.
Okay, so I'm definitely gonna pick Magic Fest Vegas as my world that I would like to build for the next set. I need to have a mechanic, right? Is the first thing.
Yes.
So my mechanic is going to be dehydration, and this is going to be a effect that whenever you gain life, you have to put a -1/-1 creature counter on target creature. If you are unable to do so, then you have to discard a card. So obviously this is going to be on some strong powered creatures, like you might have a 4/4 dragon that has haste, that has dehydrate. And you have to do it to your own creatures, so it does have a drawback for you. Who knows? Maybe even it costs 3 mana because it's so good, the setback. What else do I have to do with?
You have to name 2 types of creature types or tribes in your set. And you have about 10 seconds.
Okay, my first creature type is drunks, because obviously that's part of Vegas.
5.
And then my second creature type is the gambler.
Okay, that's time.
Perfect. So we have
Okay.
drunken gambler dragons. Got it.
That's what I heard.
Wow.
Perfect. All right. So let's get the next opening statement from Ruben, right? 2 minutes on the clock.
Yep. Go ahead.
Coming soon to a local game store near you is Comic-Con San Diego, the Magic set, featuring the new keyword mechanic, Cluster. It's an effect where when you have too many creatures all on the battlefield all at the same time, they all become one big, sweaty, gross mass. And they're all stuck together, especially when you stack up, like, the people with the loudspeakers talking about Jesus on the main corner, and the people who are all wearing Fat Thor cosplay, and what I assume is...
Or my body, yeah.
Right, or what I assume is going to be everyone's cosplay next year, which is Joaquin Phoenix gross Joker. And so when you stack them all up, all on top of each other, they become like a big battlecruiser magic style creature. And so you have nice big amalgams of creatures to be able to play in your limited environment. Other abilities include Swag Bag, which is whenever you enter the battlefield, you get a bunch of crap on your creature that you don't want. and then have to carry around while you're on the battlefield the whole time. So you probably enter tapped, but then you have like a bunch of magazines and stuff. And then you also get, just like most Magic sets that we're going to talk about, you can get Overheat, which is, if you have to pay extra blue mana to make sure that your creatures don't immediately go to the graveyard. But it sounds like a ton of fun, this set. But unfortunately, when you actually play the set, it's not as fun as you think it'll be because everything's overpriced and there aren't, there's too many Comic-Con promos in every pack. It's a really weird, limited environment. And also,
10 seconds.
But here's the thing: everybody comes to play Comic-Con, so that's the benefit of getting that set.
Alrighty.
Okay, it's time.
We got a cluster blank, battle cruiser, swag bags, a lot of mechanics on Ruben's for the Comic-Con SD. Plain, but now let's get 2 minutes on the clock for Ahren to close out the opening arguments whenever you're ready.
Okay, I have 2 questions before I start. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm going to get kicked off the show. Are we allowed to curse?
Yes. Okay.
And how blue are we going here?
Oh boy.
I don't think we have caps on the blueness.
Yikes. Okay. So
I like where this is going.
You're not going to in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. Fire. All right. So my expansion set for a convention is Hentai Con.
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh my.
Yeah, Ruben, how did you miss this? This is a layup.
Okay.
And that's the argument.
So mechanic, right? So the mechanic I think is probably X-ray, where you can see your opponent's hand from the inside and outside at the same time.
Sure.
And then the main tribes, my guess would be tentacle monsters, clearly, and then maids, probably. Those would be the 2 main. Yeah. See, the grimace note means that I feel like I may have hit on something. And then probably the set icon that I'm envisioning is like eye bleach that you're gonna need afterwards. After you play this, you're just gonna need puppies or people helping old ladies across the street. But up until then, it's just going to be gross. But in a fun way.
Right.
Right.
Sure.
It's fun gross.
As hentai tends to be.
Look, it's called hentai, and it's art.
Perfect. I just unfortunately watched a kind of a Gekamation film. I guess it's in between a anime and a hentai film called Violence Voyager. Wow. I'm never the same. I can't stop thinking about this horrible thing I watched. It's not for me, but it's for someone, and I'm glad that the people that like it have it. I just wish I could pull it surgically extract it from my brain. But we're gonna go to the rebuttal round. So now
I'm not done. I've got 30 seconds left, probably.
Yeah, I mean you had 30 seconds left when you stopped talking.
I'm sorry, don't mind me.
Look, okay.
Yeah.
So when I was in college, somebody was like, "You need to watch this," and I was like, "Okay." Right, and it was a VHS because that's when I went to college, and that's where all this knowledge comes from because I'm old.
Okay.
And they were like, "Have you ever seen Japanese animation before?" And I was like,
"You have 10 seconds."
I have. All right. So, anyways, it was called Yorotsuki Doji. I watched it on this awful 5 times copied over VHS tape. Look it up. It will change your life.
That's time. That's.
Look it up
better. Or don't.
Let's before we go to the rebuttals, let's go to the couch. I mean, we have Magic Fest Vegas, Comic-Con, and Hentai Con. Zuby, which one would you want to frequent first?
Yeah, Zuby.
Yeah, I'm trying to think which is more cringe. Was Cody's answer from last time or Aaron's answer of this episode? Just from the sound of it, Vegas obviously would be the one I'd want to go to because Comic-Con, even though Comic-Con can be really fun, just the mechanic of cluster makes me feel all greasy.
Gracie.
Oh God. And
How about
I'm
the
just seeing-
disembodied voice of the
yes,
producer?
I am. You can just pretend that I'm the dolphin.
Here,
That's fine.
now you are the dolphin.
I think if we didn't find the line, we're close.
What does the chat say? Are the chat animation fans?
Someone said disqualified, straight tentacle porn. I look shook, and I'm glad now that Slivers isn't on the couch with him.
But somebody knew the English name of Yoratsuki Doji, and that person, I'm going to send you a fruit basket, not a
Legend of
episode.
the Oak theme.
Basket.
All right, so let's go to. We get 60 seconds on the clock, so we're going to go back to Zenaide. So, what are you holding up there?
That's my set symbol. That's the dehydration effect.
Oh.
Go.
Okay,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
so
How
my
long is the
rebuttal?
rebuttal?
So
Is there a question or do I just go?
Okay, so 60 seconds for the rebuttal. So basically, Zenaide, you're going to tell us why Ruben is wrong for saying all of his stuff, why your stuff is better, Ruben's wrong, and then why Ahren is...
Okay.
I can't even start with Ahren. So you're basically going to say why yours is the best and theirs suck.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So first off, you should definitely come and play the convention set MTG Vegas because it is all ages friendly. I don't care if you're, 3 or 4 or 68. It's not going to have any awkward moments. We've all played Cards Against Humanity with our family. We don't need to do that again. Also, why would you want to go put yourself in being uncomfortable? Magic is about having fun. When was the last time that you hung out with a bunch of drunks and gamblers and didn't have a good time, or at least leave with a good story? Have you seen people in Vegas? Have you ever seen them wheelchaired out? You might get to have that sideline experience of seeing the excitement firsthand when playing my set. You might get a little dehydrated doing it, but it was well worth it. I mean, what more do you need? That's it. Come drink. Come be merry. Throw the dice. There's gambling games to be have. Hard 8, and then you might even have a date.
Oh, we got a pun! Oh my god!
Woo! That's time. Yep.
It's rhyme time.
I mean, Ruben, you and I both have firsthand knowledge of what it's like to live in Vegas. So.
I know. I was just going to say, I have home field advantage on this argument because if I'm playing a Magic set, I want to escape reality. I want to go someplace that feels totally different. And I lived in Las Vegas for 5 years. I don't want to play Place I've Lived the set. That doesn't sound super fun to me. But there's also a line, right? And the line is probably somewhere way before Hentai the set. So I think that the right level of suspended realism is the sort of fake but also partially real in-between world of San Diego filled up with nothing but people who bought Halloween costumes for $15.99 on the way into town and are paying $45 for parking. I think that that's the kind of escape from reality I want exactly one time a year. And that's what you want out of San Diego Comic-Con.
All right. Coming back strong. All right, so...
where can you buy a Halloween costume for $15?
Halloween, like any of the Halloween stores have garbage.
Those cost twice that much.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe
fair. Yeah, or a thrift store. Just go to the thrift store and build yourself a Halloween costume of, I don't know.
Okay.
My name is Earl or whatever.
My name is Earl. PK, 60 seconds on the clock. Let's get Ahren's much anticipated rebuttal. Why is Spaghetti Monster the best?
Go ahead.
Okay. Vegas is lame. San Diego is a dump.
Oh.
And
It's only born there.
I mean, you're not wrong.
right? Like, San Diego Comic-Con is a place that if you said, hey, I need you to either get in this time machine and go to Bosnia in the 90s or go to San Diego today, I would get in that time machine 10 times out of 10. Because, like, being in San Diego while that is happening is like the seventh circle of hell. So you already have hand sanitizer, right? You already don't want to touch anything. You're already going to be surrounded by people that you probably don't want to hug. I feel like that the hentai expansion is pretty much already the entire convention experience.
10 seconds.
But, you know, everybody's an adult, so...
And Zenaide's
That's
out.
time. She's out.
I think maybe she's just chilly. Don't lay that on me.
I'm cold. Yeah, I'm really cold.
See?
Yeah.
All right, so we have the rebuttals in. Let's go back to the couch. The Dolphin and Magic with Zuby. Let's do a little fact checking here. You know, if you have the TARDIS and go back in time, like Ahren said, would you rethink your choice to go to Vegas, and would you go to the Spaghetti Monster convention?
He said Bosnia in 1990.
Well, that too.
In the 90s.
In the 90s, during the Bosnian genocide.
Oh.
Because the Bosnian War happened in the early 90s.
Oh boy.
I don't know. I think I'd rather go to San Diego.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Sure.
Yeah.
I will give this. You when you swing for the fences, you gotta go for it. And so I respect the hustle in the argument.
Even the competitor is giving props for the reach of all the yeah. How about the Dolphin? Does the Dolphin say anything from the chat?
See, from the chat.
Yeah.
Oh,
God, fucking
poor
Ahren
chat
is on. Jesus, Ahren.
Efren says, I don't even want to know why people might get wheelchaired out of HentaiCon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That's that.
All right.
It's not what you think. It's worse.
Okay.
Let's go to our. So we have 60 more seconds per competitor for just a closing argument on this round, and then we will choose a winner. Oh, not we will. I will. But yes, Zenaide, 60 seconds back on the clock. Your closing argument. Now that you have all the information, all the rebuttals, make your last statement here. Why is Vegas the best?
Go ahead.
Well, you know, as much as I like being surrounded by people in cheap Halloween costumes, well, Vegas is basically, I don't know if you've been there, but it's better than that because you can go to nightclubs and Halloween's coming up. We have that. So that's irrelevant. My Magic set has all of the themes for it, the dehydration. You'll be able to talk about your gameplay stories about how, you know, you rolled a hard 6 and then you put the drunk in the graveyard, you know, but then afterwards a gambler exiled you and brought you back and it helped you win the game, you know, like how cool does that sound? So really you should just think about overall the fact that Vegas is one of the most fun places. And you'll even find cosplay cards in the set from MTG cosplayers who are at Vegas. So it basically has the same thing as SDCC, but better. And also on the hentai con, I mean, I just feel like we're really not even really trying to compete with that. So
that's
different
time.
audience.
Different audience.
Ooh.
It's called market segmentation.
Right.
We're always trying to grow our audience. I don't take shame. Let's go to Ruben Bressler's closing out this round for your final statement here.
Yeah, I don't really want to defend San Diego, and I feel like I need to help the hentai argument along. So I'll just argue. I'll just try to help that one catch up a little bit here. It's unique. It's certainly a way to go. It's gonna get new players. Certainly. Yeah, that's certainly a thing that could happen. I mean, look, the numbers don't lie. More people go to San Diego Comic-Con. It's an older convention. It's going to get, and the set symbol's $1 because it just makes all the money in the world. If you want to be a success, if you want to make sure that you get return to Comic-Con, or you get Oath of the Comic-Con and go back to a plane over and over again and have one of those successful expansions, you want to do the Comic-Con expansion. That's the way you want to go.
Okay. All right, it's closing out strong. Strong for Ahren and himself. Doing double duty on that round. Ruben Bressler, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get Ahren's, again, much anticipated, at least to me. I don't know if anyone else is anticipating the closing argument, but I sure the hell want to hear it. So 60 seconds on the clock.
Yep. Go
All right.
ahead.
Here's the sell. In the preview movie, a giant meteor comes down and obliterates Oko. And so he is no longer part of Magic continuity from then on. And then like all the gross stuff happens after that. But that's that's the very first part is just like Shivan meteor.
That's your selling point?
I love
Killing Oko?
I
I
mean, right? Have you played recently?
That's hitting a lot of the fan base, too, I'm not going to lie.
So, I mean, I just elks everywhere, antlers in the sky, and then all the other stuff happens. But that important part in the beginning is, I think, would sell the entire set.
It doesn't make any less sense than the most recent preview video.
10 seconds?
Sure.
Look, once we went gingerbread, I feel like the world is our oyster. The world is our oyster.
And there it is.
That's time. That's time.
PK, what did you think about this round? We went to some places.
I'm a little
Verklempt?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what to think.
All right. Let's go to the couch. Let's get some fact checking going from I don't know who I'm asking for fact checks. Is that Zuby?
Yeah, I guess.
Zuby, are there any facts here?
I mean, I've never been to San Diego, but isn't it on fire right now or something?
No,
I don't.
Little south. for
Los
that.
Angeles.
Oh yeah, my house is on fire.
Yeah, Ruben.
Yeah.
Ruben's literally on fire.
Oh, damn. That's
So my house isn't on fire,
Right.
but close enough.
All around.
Blazes nearby.
Yeah.
We're all burn aficionados here.
Right. Yeah.
Ooh, it's true.
Very,
It's true.
very,
I mean, I don't even know what facts to really check here. I don't know. Though I will say I do like cluster. The more that I think about it, because I really like meld as a mechanic, and cluster could be like melt, like mega meld or something like that. You know, megamorph.
I could see cluster in an unset. That could work there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a little love for the mechanics.
Very similar to bestow in that way, but you just keep bestowing on top of each other until you get very, very.
Yeah, you could think of it like that. Yeah.
See, I feel like that works for both of ours.
True.
All right, so
God.
here's the verdict. We got to move on. This was a very long round one.
It
We got
was,
a couple
yes.
rounds left. So let's just go over what I wrote. So Zenaide's argument first, Magic Fest Vegas. We got the dehydration, -1/-1 on target creature or discard a card. Then we have the creature types, drunks and gamblers. So Zenaide went the family friendly route. She had a great pitch. It sounded like a commercial, and then she had a pun. So of course that's like +2 points right there.
Great.
However, I did find some holes in your argument, Zenaide. You said family friendly, but then you had drunks, and you know if you've ever been to my house on Thanksgiving, you know those two things aren't cohesive. By family, I meant myself. So then we're gonna go to Ruben's argument real quick. Still solid, Zenaide. You're not out of the game. So Comic-Con SD. We got Cluster again. That could go for his or Ahren's. We got Battlecruiser Magic with Swag Bag, Overheat. With the it was very blue asymmetrical, I wrote down, and then he's just like, yeah, Comic-Con's sweaty and gross, so let's just see what hentai is all about. And then also I did have to poke a hole in yours as well, Ruben. You forgot to give me the two tribes that were going to be in your set.
Oh,
so
sure.
It's like we're like Iron Chef, and you left off the black pepper, so you definitely got to get penalized for that one. I'm sorry, my friend. So now let's get to the meat of the argument.
Yep.
Oh god.
No.
Okay. So
Nope.
we got
I like it.
Hentai-Con, X-Ray, Tribes. We had Maids, Tentacle Monsters. He said Las Vegas is lame. I did 22 years in that desert, so I could attest to that. Born in San Diego is a dump. No, it's pretty nice there. With all the facts and everything, I can't believe I'm going to say it. Ahren takes round 1.
Yes.
Oh my god!
I'm on board.
No.
I don't know how I got here.
I doth protest on that.
Embarrassing.
Tell me how horrible I am in the chat. I think it was the most cohesive argument, straight up and down. Okay, we got to move on. Let's go to.
There's a lot of creative room for the R&D department to make cards.
Yeah.
Design space.
Design space, exactly.
We got the My Little Pony set. Maybe it's we pander to the younger audience. Maybe it's time to get those people set as well. So
well, you just made
And
a whole
they kill
bunch of
Oko.
disgusting people at LGS is happy that wear those tentacles,
true.
hentai playmats and
again,
shit.
I don't kink shame. Let's go to round number 2. PK, you got the.
Yes.
Let's go to the opening arguments for round 2. Oh, first, let's get the question first.
Okay,
Ahren,
yes.
you get to pick the rotation now. Who's going first?
Oh. All right, do I get to hear the question first?
No.
No.
Ooh. That's tough. You know what? I'm going to go last again. I liked that. I like being the anchor. It
So
gives
who's
me the
going
most
first?
time to percolate.
Yeah. We saw what
let's
happened last time. Boy.
Let's do. We'll move it one to the left. So Ruben first, then Z, and then I'll do last.
Perfect.
Bring
All right,
it. Bat and
Okay.
lead off.
Get ready.
I'm ready.
Question number 2. Here we go. As some of you may be aware, the 10 Street Hooligans, that's us,
If you didn't.
have been known to enjoy a bit of D&D from time to time.
Oh, my wheelhouse.
Oh, yep. This question's for you, Ruben. The 10 Street Hooligan Gang has faced off with the likes of fiery phoenixes, roided up insects, and boulder-wielding cyclopses. Choosing from the expansive list of D&D monsters, we want you to imagine what one of these big bads would be like as a Magic the Gathering player. What monster would you envision as a Magic player, and what would their favorite format be?
Interesting. Is the timer started?
Go ahead.
You get 2
All
minutes.
So there are a number of monstrous people that you'll run into at your local Magic tournament that you probably have high challenge ratings, but are also not terribly pleasant to fight against. I would think that the one that I would want to fight against the least would be one that has an area of effect damage that has something to do with poison and disease. You know the type, right? You have a really like bad disposition, like chaotic evil feeling. I would say the kind of person that chooses to pile shuffle every single time they shuffle. They don't use sleeves. They've got like grimy sleeves.
Oh.
I'm thinking that you would have to fight against Zuby Blex, the Demon Lord of Oozes, as a Magic the Gathering opponent.
Wow.
That would probably be the worst case scenario. Zuby Blex is one of the Demon Lords of the Abyss, who invaded the Underdark in the Out of the Abyss storyline, is in charge of things like black puddings and gelatinous cubes and things like that. And you definitely want to have your deck double sleeved if you present a shuffle before you let them touch it. And also, maybe don't shake their hand before the game because you don't know where that particular thing has been.
What's their favorite format?
What's their favorite format?
In 20 seconds.
Sure. I would say vintage, mostly because they're super old and made of really gross, disgusting, rotting stuff. And so either that or old school would be their favorite format. Certainly not modern. They're not
5
a modern.
seconds.
They're not a modern god. Not a modern demon lord. I would say quite vintage.
That's time.
And we're going to debut this at the Hentai-Con. All right.
Yeah. There you go.
This is all... I can't get it out of the head now. All right. So we're going
it's
to...
a big gelatinous circle.
Right.
Zenaide. You're up, my friend.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the D&D creature that I'm familiar with as a Magic player is the Fire Phoenixes. Now this person is very social, so they're going to be talking to everybody before the tournament. And their favorite format is limited because they always like having a rebirth of a new set. They like things that are fast, which typically in limited you get rewarded for sometimes playing an aggressive deck if you do get the right burn spells like a Phoenix naturally likes. But also you get the rebirth element of a Phoenix where when the set's done and they're over it, they're on to the next one. The Fire Phoenix also is well versed in many other formats because they are Phoenix. They're like, oh, I'm going to play standard now. And then they're like, oh, well, Oko's everywhere. So now I'm going to play modern. And they'll switch around. But they always come back to limited because they always know that they can master and fly above the rest. They don't have to worry about gelatinous cubes in the draft because they're just better than that. Also, they're definitely the player that at a GP, if they lose 1 and 2 when they're not even out yet, they drop and they sell their deck to the nearest vendor that they see.
Does that happen?
Yeah.
I've seen it happen.
It might. That's the salt of the Fire Phoenix is strong.
So it's a rage sell.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people in our hobby have more money than sense. So
that pun will be counted for Zenaide because it's technically on her time. So. All right.
Thank you for that one, Ruben. Thank you.
2 minutes.
Okay.
Ahren, close out the round. Well,
Yep.
All right.
Close out the beginning of the round.
Sure. All right. So I'm going deep on this one.
Okay.
Oh God.
Dark. Relax.
Okay.
I should get that
Not
time.
after last round.
I
After
should
last
get
round,
that
when you
time
said I'm
back.
going
Right,
deep
yeah.
now, it's not.
I didn't know what to think.
You lay in the bed
honestly.
you made.
That's fair. All right. So my favorite D&D setting of all time is Dark Sun. So for those not familiar, Dark Sun is sort of Amonkhet-esque. It takes place on a desert plain, and it's extremely brutal. It's so like hardcore that they actually advise people to make multiple characters and play them at the same time because you're so likely to die of exposure and just like dying of thirst and all that stuff. So anyways, it's amazingly hardcore, but super cool setting that everybody should look up. There's a monster from this plane called the T'Chaub, and the T'Chaub is and I quote, a particularly deadly little creature that delights in draining intelligence from those smarter than itself. So this monster is the ultimate sort of like rules lawyer, and also like person who has to prove that they know everything that is correct. So it the physical description even sometimes works. It's a tiny humanoid creature with leathery gray skin, beady red eyes, and a purple ridge along the skull. I've definitely seen that.
10 seconds.
It's hairless. The most important thing about it, though, is it is a solitary creature because it doesn't like anyone or anything except the feeling of power it gets from becoming smarter. And if that's not a Magic player...
That's time. That's time.
So we're at Dark Sun, which is like an Amonkhet, and his creature is Donald Trump. Okay, so let's go to the couch real quick.
It doesn't have a golden toilet.
That's true. Zuby, this is your wheelhouse as well. I expect lots of facts as far as D&D facts go. So let's start with Ruben's the Jublex oozes, the demon.
Yeah, I can definitely try not to picture that as a Magic player because it's just gross. And Ruben was right on the ball for every single thing about Jublex or Jewyblex or however you say it. And vintage, yeah, that would be a very oozy thing to do, having the Power 9 in their deck and not even wear sleeves or anything like that. And then the Phoenix, I like that loves new sets, very salty, loves limited. I could see it beating the Jewyblex because it would never have to touch it. It would just be able to fly up high and shoot fire at it, essentially, or swoop down and attack it. But Ahren, how do I spell that monster name? I cannot remember how to spell that because I'm trying to find it.
It's T''CHOWB.
Okay, that's what I was forgetting. Okay. Wait, CHOWB.
No U.
There's no U.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I am not too familiar with Dark Sun as much as probably some other people, but it's going to take. Yeah, it's going to take me a little bit to look that one up.
That up, Johnny, what does the chat say about this?
Let's see. I got Erickson here. Takab, isn't that? Is it the Takab? Tahab, whatever the apostrophe. Tachaub. The Tachaub. Isn't that the sound Red Man made in the video with Fred Durst?
What does that mean?
I think it's a reference to an old video. Fred Durst. Isn't that Limp Bizkit?
It is.
Yes.
I ran across one of those videos recently, and I'm so glad it's the first time I saw that video because I'm glad I didn't see it back then. I'm like,
because you would have loved it so much, and it would have molded who you are now.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, I found the T'Challa. Yeah, this is like the quintessential Magic player that you'd find at a LGS that no one likes.
Oh, dang.
Oh.
I feel attacked.
They all sounded really good.
All right, so let's go to the rebuttal round. Let's move this along. Back to Ruben. Why is it the Jewblex?
Jewblex, Jewyblex, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
So the rebuttal is pretty simple here. I think that we all had decent reasons for our choices. I don't think that an Arclight Phoenix is going to hold magic cards, right? It's got wings. It doesn't have opposable thumbs. This T'Chaub thing, if it shows up at a magic tournament, okay, I think that it can probably maybe it gets lucky and gets the round one bye, and it can absorb some intelligence before it actually has to play any magic. But you look at Jewyblex, you look at the Demon Lord of Oozes, the Faceless Lord, the champion of the 222nd layer of the Abyss, who rules over the slime pits with Zugmatoy, the Lady of Fungi. You're not going to find a more challenging opponent. Challenge rating 20.
Uh-oh.
A child, not even in 5th edition.
That's
a challenge rating 2. That thing can get out of here.
All right.
Okay.
Highest challenge rating. Got it. All right, Zenaide, you are back on the clock for your rebuttal. Let's talk about Phoenixes. 60 seconds on the clock.
Okay, well, regardless of what type of limbs any mythical creature has, let's just assume that they can all somehow read and play magic cards, because let's take it, one guy's faceless, one guy has a weird little beady eyes that he might not even be able to see. That's like blindness, right? I mean, I would know. And the other thing about the demon guy, the Jubelex, I read up a little bit on them. It sounds like they care very little for intrigue and only for destruction. So the Phoenix will definitely have an advantage on that. And also, of course, like I mentioned, the Phoenix is kind of the social butterfly. Even though they get really hot-headed quickly when they play, they still are bouncing in between rounds. So wouldn't you much rather want to have the Phoenix that you're playing with rather than the T'Chau? Like, T'Chau?
5 seconds.
Yeah, so, keep you warm when it's cold outside, too.
That's time.
More inclusive experience. All right, Ahren, let's close out the rebuttals. 60 seconds on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
PK at the bottom of the glass. Yep.
Tell me if you've ever had this experience. You sit down across from someone and they just start talking and talking and talking, right? So this is a psionic attack, and that is the realm where we're focused here, because every point of intelligence that they drain from you is gone permanently. You actually just straight up get dumber. And the the demon lords, they don't care what people do, right? They're like cats. They don't like human activity has no bearing on their existence.
Wait a second. 15 seconds.
The Phoenix, I mean, my argument against the Phoenix is purely logistical. Even if they could be holding cards, they would immediately burst into flames.
5.
And, you know, they got things to do, man.
That's it.
What?
5.
Hey,
You got things to do, like what?
Got
Like,
If you could fly, would you be playing Magic?
Yeah, I don't know, bird things. What are you up to? Bird stuff.
all
You
right.
don't know.
Let's
You're
go
not a
to
bird lawyer, even
Let's
though
go
you're.
to the drunken hobbit. What does the hobbit think of this round so far? He looks happy. That's great. All right. How about Echo the Dolphin? What is the chat saying?
Oh, the chat's all about made. You know what that means. Mhm.
I'm
I
afraid
made
that
the same
how
sound
drunk
when
you're
Zuby
getting off
robbed
camera,
the
Johnny.
First round. Yeah, I think there's some revolt in the chat. They're calling for a rigged system here.
Okay.
Hmm.
oh,
That's piling over from the first round.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maze League is showing up tonight. I like it.
All right, Zuby, we got some more information in the rebuttal round. More D&D stuff. I refer to you.
Yeah, so I finally found the T'Chaub, and if we were just going based off a challenge rating, Jewy would definitely wipe out both of the other two, the Phoenix and the T'Chaub. But I do like a lot of the T'Chaub's ability, and Ahren kind of explains it well, where, yeah, someone who, you know, we all know those kind of magic people at those LGSs that have no social skills, and you do feel your intelligence draining as you hear them talk.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. Let's close this round out with the closing arguments. Let's put Ruben back on the clock. 60 seconds. Tell us why the Jublex is the best.
go ahead.
Yeah, unlike the renowned social skills of Firebirds and T'Chaubs. Yeah, I think that I've made myself pretty clear. I mean, it's the faceless lord. How can you possibly argue against the Pudding King, as it were, the oozing temple? He's the worst possible opponent. And you know, you've all played Standstill. You've all played Draw Go for 20 turns. You know what it's like when you have a sort of looks like a melting opponent across the table from you. And you guys were complaining about the unshifting, unchanging, unemotional facade of the Jewy-Blex. Don't you want to not be phased? Don't you want to stay cool under pressure?
15 seconds.
Don't you want to not burn into flames when you get the wrong top deck? Don't you not want to have to feed on the intellect and intelligence of
5.
your opponents? Don't you want to just be everything and everybody to everyone as Jewy-Blex is?
That's the time.
That was the patented PK buzzer sound, and no one's ears will ever be the same. Let's go back to Zenaide for your closing statement. Go for it.
Okay, so I just want my closing statement is focused on, let's picture a world where we only have all of one type of creature. You've got all of the faceless demons. Eventually destruction is going to happen. Are you even going to have a game store to play at anymore? Or if you have all of the, you know, trolls, basically, that doesn't sound like any fun. Are you going to come back to that shop where you have to listen to your intelligence just drifting away? No. If everybody was a Phoenix, you'd hang out and be social. And if you're playing against the Phoenix, you might even win against them because, like I said, they're hot-headed. They're just going to drop and go. And if you're a Phoenix yourself, you're always having fun because you're on to the next thing. You're not letting the times where you had to talk to the demon or the troll hold you back because you're just being fabulous.
Always on brand. All right.
And Faithless Looting got banned, so it's more reasonable to play Phoenix.
Perfect. Ahren, why don't you close us out? 60 seconds on the clock.
Go ahead.
All right, so I'm gonna build off the all one type of creature. So in this scenario where all the creatures are just one type, the T'Chaub concept works. And it works better because you end up with a shared pool of intelligence that just sort of makes its way around the room as everybody drains the intelligence from everybody else. So if everybody starts at like 100 and there's 10 of them, right? You've got 1,000 IQ. So obviously you can play Storm now. And then as the people play against each other, right, they'll suck it out, and one person will end up, on the low end. The winner maybe gets more of the intelligence. And so that way you can finally know without a doubt who the best player in your LGS is, because they will be the smartest and everybody else will be dumb.
It's time.
Alrighty. Here we go. Let's go right to the verdict just for time's sake. So let's go over Ruben's argument. It was the Jewy-Blex or the Jew-Blex, the Oozes, highest rated, and Zuby fact-checked that as far as the villains went. They both attacked Zenaide's process with the Phoenixes burning up cards. They're always burning up cards. But the Jewy-Blex was the Faceless Lord, Omniscient. I don't know how fun that's going to be to play against, so more on that later. Let's go to Zenaide's argument. It was the Fire Phoenix. She went on the opposite round. Very social. Everyone's having fun. We're playing the limited format. And Ruben said the vintage format. That's very important. I'll tell you why later. So the limited format... faceless. She said that everything's faceless and beady eyes and very unpleasant on the other guys' tables. More fun with the Phoenix. Keep it fabulous. Always on brand. And keeping the LGS open, like you said. And you also sold variants as well. So kind of the antithesis of Ruben's argument. So let's go to Ahren's. The Dark Sun Amonkhet is like a Amonkhet style. The T'Chab. I kept reading Trump or Trump supporter on that. It might just be me, Psionic. You played to my favorite kind of style of play in D&D. Logistics, again, attacked on the Phoenix. Everyone's playing Storm, didn't like that. And, so, and very invasive, very touchy-feely on the brain, kind of weird. So I'm gonna say, but Ahren, like Ruben, you left off what kind of format we're playing. So we got limited from Zenaide and vintage from Ruben, but I have to give this one, I don't want to say an upset, but because it's D&D involved, but I got to give this round to Zenaide. I think it was a very fun, inclusive round. So I got to say her argument really made me want to play with the Phoenix.
Yeah. I mean, if we're choosing opponents that we want to have, if we want to be building our friendly local game stores up, I'd much rather have a building full of Phoenixes.
Absolutely. All right, so let's go to round 3. Chat, get ready. This is all you going to be voting on this one. I get to take a nap. This is my favorite part of the night. But let's get the third question up and ready to go, PK.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Zenaide, you get to choose the order. I'm sorry. I need to write that down.
Okay. Well, we're gonna put Ahren up first.
Ooh.
Because he hasn't gone first yet.
Yep.
And then we're gonna put Ruben second, and I'll go last this time.
Alrighty.
Okay.
That's my strat. You're stealing my strat.
Yeah, that's good. That was good. Question number 3. Pioneer, the new frontier. Since the announcement of the Pioneer format, the hype and hyperbole has been vigorous, with many discussions centering around its ban list and how few cards are on it. There has been much speculation over which cards that were previously banned in their respective standard formats are likely to break the format. However, we want to hear about the sleepers no one is talking about. Please tell us, which seemingly innocuous Pioneer legal card do you see breaking the format, and why is your chosen card up to that task?
All right, so we'll give that a moment to settle in. There was a lot there, so everyone gets to chew on that for a little bit. Let's go back to the couch real quick. So this one is the chat. We have already Zenaide up 1 and Ahren up 1. Ruben's definitely not out of this if he takes this round. Zuby, do you think this thing's shaping up like you thought it would?
Zuby?
Zuby,
Mute.
you're muted.
Hold on, I was on mute. I definitely think round one was the upset of the night, and that's going to be something that a lot of folk are going to be talking about for
okay.
weeks now.
Oh, they still are. They're taking
Yeah.
it back.
Not a lot of hentai fans out there.
And so I really think Ahren is going to be coming out of this one strong, just based on his podcast there. And so I'll be interested to see where this goes here.
Conversely, though, Zenaide upset both the, I think, more, and correct me if I'm wrong, Zenaide, but the two more experienced D&D players in the last round. So
Yeah, I've never played D&D. I've like built a character halfway, but
so there you go. You never know. You never know. Johnny, how's the chat doing? It looks like we got Ahren and Pixie in there.
Ban Maze's End. That's what we got from Ahren. Just ban Maze's End.
Perfect. All right, so now I hope that you got the chance to marinate with that question. Let's get
2 minutes.
2 minutes on the clock.
Yep.
Okay. So
Go ahead.
the card that people are not paying attention to in Pioneer, my opinion, is Aetherflux Reservoir. This is a card that during its life in Standard was fine, right? Some people tried to like make it work. When you expand the card pool into Pioneer, you get essentially the cards to build a Cheerios style deck. So you basically you ramp out an Aetherflux Reservoir as fast as you can, and then and sometimes you don't even have to do that. You can just sort of play it on turn 4, but then you have 1, 2, 3. You have enough 0-cost artifacts that when you combine SRAM with a bunch of cheap 0-cost artifacts, that you can very easily build to that 50 life and just have a 1-turn kill. And there aren't enough answers in the format to something like that that are necessarily like main deckable in every color, where you would be able to answer something like that the turn it hits the field. And the counterspells are so weak that you really can't necessarily play the control game against it. And once it starts going off, right, you're just going to lose to a bunch of bone saws and a cord of
30
shields.
seconds.
It's an extremely unfun play pattern. It has very little interaction, if any. Once it goes off, you're pretty much out of the game. And I'm not wild about a mid to low power format
10.
having a 4-mana win the game.
Okay, that's time.
That was a lot of information. I'm so glad I'm not judging this round. All right.
Same.
Let's go to Ruben. 2 minutes on the clock.
Yep. Go ahead.
So there's been a card called Pure Steel Paladin that has already won a Pro Tour. Now, Pure Steel Paladin, of course, being from New Phyrexia, is not in Pioneer. However, there is a card that is very similar named SRAM, Senior Edificer, from Aether Revolt, that allows you to draw a card whenever you play a bunch of free artifacts, just like you were just talking about with your Cheerios-style strategy. And basically, I was trying, when I was brewing up ideas for Pioneer, I just searched the word whenever and the word draw a card. And so I was like, what is the best way to, whenever I do anything, draw a card and go through my entire deck as quickly as possible? It seems like SRAM might be the best way to do it with your kite sails and your a quarter shields and things like that. And then, of course, you can finish off with something along the lines of an Aetherflux Reservoir or another Storm card or something along those lines. So I think that that's probably where I would start at this point. It's cheap to get down on the board. It's easy to splash, being a colorless and a white. And, not for nothing, it's one of the best dwarf advisors ever printed. And so I think that that's probably where I'd begin my Pioneer search.
Is Dwarf Advisor a big card pool?
Yeah, I'm sure there are tons. I looked it up, but I'm sure there's lots of them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll get
fact check that. Yep.
I'm going to say that SRAM is going to be top 3 dwarf advisors that have ever been printed.
Top 3. Okay.
He's like one of the best ones ever. Of
Yeah.
the 3. Of the 7, hopefully. That was a bad joke. Let's go to Zenaide.
Yeah,
Okay, so the card that is going to be breaking the format, that is going to be found in a large percentage of decks. We're talking like Wasteland to Legacy analogy here. Is going to be Mutavault. So Mutavault is a land that can add a colorless mana, or you can make it become a 2/2 creature. It's also a changeling, so it's any creature type. So if you have any tribal decks, like merfolk using stuff from Ixalan, dinosaurs, whatever it might be. Sorry, my dog wanted to say that beagles are also a tribe that can be represented by Mutavault. You're not just going to find this in creature decks, but you're also going to be able to put it in control decks where you have a blocker back there. Mutavault has a lot of advantages of how you can use it when you activate it to be a creature, whether you have things that apply to the number of creatures you control, just like my beagle. So it's going to be a great resource for a blocker or an attacker, and it's going to go in like every deck. It's a colorless land that you can literally jam into almost any deck, and it has a spot. It's not just useless. It's very useful and very handy.
Nice. All right. So that is the picks are in. The picks are in. Let's go quickly. We had Ruben calling for an early fact check, so let's go to the couch.
I'm totally terrible. Zenaide, what were you picking? Because I was busy looking up advisors.
Mutavault.
What? Oh, Mutavault. Okay, that's what I thought it was. Okay.
So she technically picked everything.
Including advisors.
So
Yes,
as far as
including advisors.
that is true.
And beagles.
So as far as advisors go, I'm only finding SRAM as the lone dwarf advisor.
Okay, there you go.
Definitely top 3.
Interesting.
That is true. So yeah.
I think his closest non-dwarf analog is Gaddock Teague, but he's
Right.
a Kithkin, not a dwarf.
Yes.
All right.
Dang.
We'll see. We'll see if that comes back. Johnny, Echo the Dolphin.
Let's see. Ahren tried looking up the dwarf advisor on Scryfall. It crashed his browser. And then Williamson is thinking Mutavault's an interesting choice. The tribal shenanigans could be pretty powerful in this format.
All right. Great. Let's go straight to the rebuttals. 60 seconds on the clock. Aaron's on the clock.
Go ahead.
So as of right now in the Pioneer format, there are there are 14 zero-cost artifacts that can be played alongside SRAM to power up your Aetherflux reservoir. And that is more than enough to get 12 to 16 playables. There's also a Retract-esque card that's legal. It is
15 seconds.
It is. Where is it? Where is it? Oh no! I'm running out of time.
4,
Hold on.
3, 2.
PK buzzer. Going for the hard facts, but kind of spogged.
It was Retraction Helix.
Oh.
Oh, dang.
That was the droid you were looking for. Let's go to Ruben for his rebuttal. Why is your pick the best?
I'm pretty sure that I just got that was just him arguing for SRAM. So I'm not really sure what else I have to do, but even on top of zero costs, there's plenty of ones out there. You can play a hexproof style strategy and play a bunch of one-drop auras to go along with your SRAM. I think that any time that you have an engine in a can like that, it's possible that it can break the format. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that the question was what under the radar card or what card that is not being seen or gotten respect yet. And I'm pretty sure there were Mutavaults in the
15
top
seconds.
8 of the Pioneer MTGO challenge.
Mm.
So we'll have to fact check that one. So if those ones already have some clout in Gravitas
5.
and Provenance, I'm not sure that counts as under the radar.
Ooh.
Time.
Ruben not done yet. Down 2
Ooh.
rounds, but still
Ooh.
has a dog in the fight. Zenaide, why don't you close us out on the rebuttals?
All right, so first to speak to the Aetherflux Reservoir, we have a bunch of cards that can deal with artifacts, even multiple artifacts, like Consigned to Dust from Journey into Nyx with Strive, Merciless Eviction, even the one-shot, like Destroy Target Artifact, cheaper, like Naturalize and such. And then also to respond to the fact that the like low-key cards, I don't think when the question was posed, it was mentioned about the top of the cards that are on the ban list and what's going to get banned and what's. I don't think Mutavault is going to get banned, so I still think that's a card that a lot of people are forgetting. I had not looked at the top 8 decks, but from what I've seen people purchasing at my local game store and talked with my friends, I feel like Mutavault has
15
not
seconds.
been on the radar in a lot of the groups. And so Mutavault is definitely the best card because as I stated in my
5.
original argument, it's like Wasteland and Legacy. It's going to be dominant and it's asleep right now. Pick yours up before they go up.
Time.
All right. Snuck it in. Perfect. All right, so that is the rebuttals. Before we go to the couch and start fact-checking, let's just move right into the... Let's not give them a break at all. Let's go right into it.
No break.
Back to Ahren for the closing statement.
Yep. Go ahead.
For this?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're just wrapping it. Okay.
Yep.
So I think that if you're differentiating between Aetherflux Reservoir and SRAM as a ban target, you're really trying to just kill one deck, and that's basically the Storm deck. Historically, we have seen these sort of big picture design mistakes, right? Dredge, Storm. These are things that they want to target specifically and not hit things that go into other decks. If you ban SRAM, then the Hexproof deck goes away. Like Pioneer Bogles doesn't exist without that card. So my
15.
my argument is that it's the most it's the cleanest ban between the two.
Whew. All right, jumping right back over to Mr. Ruben Bressler. 60 seconds on the clock.
I think of the 3 cards, if you were looking at their success already in other formats as a hint to whether or not they will be powerful in Pioneer, you can certainly make the argument that both Mutavault and Aetherflux Reservoir have both made their mark in other formats. They've already achieved a lot in those formats, whereas SRAM would finally have a place to shine in Pioneer. And as a result, I think that they would be more loath to get rid of the unique card in that format, even if it could be more powerful. That's why I think it's the most under the radar, is it hasn't done anything anywhere else before.
15?
It's got the highest ceiling, but it's also got the lowest floor. I think that it has the most room for potential and the most exciting ability of any of the cards that we've brought to bear.
Oof.
It's time.
So much information. This is neck and neck. I'm getting like meat sweats, and I didn't even eat. I ate vegetarian tonight. All right, let's go.
Ew.
Jump right.
Well,
Never mind.
Ruben,
Never
you said
mind.
it best.
We can't make these kind of
SRAM
jokes with our
hasn't done
round one.
anything in any other formats. So I'll just let that be the statement that you said straight from your mouth, that he hasn't done anything in any other formats. Maybe he will be a sleeper, but
Ooh.
if I was a betting woman, and you know I am because of my Magic Fest Vegas convention set, that I'm going to bet that Mutavault is definitely going to be the first card that's going to be talked about being banned. Because again, I was saying Wasteland is the most found single card if you take the entire legacy card pool of decks. I think Mutavault is going to become that. And I think after a year when it's been around and maybe they have banned different things like the big hitters, these sleeper cards are still going to be sleepers, but then Mutavault's always going to be present. And that's why I think Mutavault is the card to pay attention to. And because it goes in every deck, it's something that everybody should be considering. Yeah, and that's it. As Willow says, be fabulous.
What a round. All right, while we give some time to the chat and Johnny Slivers to kind of tally up your vote, like, chat, go ahead and vote who wins this round. This is all on you. But we're going to take kind of a mid-show break. Let's kind of tell everyone what everyone's up to and where to find everyone. So, Ahren, you've been having Turn One Thoughtseize podcast has been on for how many years, and what are you about, and where can everyone find it?
Oh, Lord. So this is, I think this is year 5. Yeah, I think we started in 2014, or maybe 2015. It's either year 4 or year 5. But we've been around. Previously, we had just focused on Modern, and now obviously with the Pioneer is sort of a nice dovetail to the Modern format. There's a lot of crossover in the card pool, so we're going to be covering that as well. So you can find us probably the easiest way, turn1thoughtseize.com, all spelled out. And then we're on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, like everything you can possibly imagine. We're on Stitcher, for God's sake. Like we're on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, I'm proud of that one too.
Dang.
That one's hard to get on, actually, for some reason. Excellent. Zenaide, you recently started a YouTube channel as well, and that seems like it's been. Oh, there's Willow the Beagle.
Whoa!
Aww.
Playing
That's
the
a big ass beagle.
This is the small one.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, so I do mostly Magic the Gathering cosplay, but I also dabble in, I'm a gamer, definitely. I'm a grinder, you could say. So I definitely have been doing some pack crack opening videos. I will do some cosplay, sewing, streaming on Twitch here coming up. So if you want to find me and follow me, you can find me everywhere at Zebex, CBEXX. You can support me on Patreon. Most of my stuff, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. It's all Zebex. So that's where you can find me and more Beagle content.
Excellent. Mr. Ruben Bressler, you do a couple things, right? Why don't you tell everyone?
I do a few things. I do one or two things. Hi, everybody. I'm the internet's Reuben Bressler. You can follow me everywhere at MOXREUBY. On Monday nights on the official Dungeons & Dragons Twitch channel and YouTube, you can catch Ravnica the Broken Pact, the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica show. This season, we're in Avernus for the first layer of hell. That's with myself, Ashlyn Rose, Riley Silverman, Gaurav Galati, and Jordan Pridgeon. You can also check that out at savingthrowshow.com, where you can catch seasons 1 and 2 in podcast form as well. And then, of course, on Wednesday nights and Tuesdays on CoolStuffInc.com, you can catch all of the Magic Mike's stuff, MAGIC-MICS, where myself, Evan Irwin, and Aaron Campbell talk about the week that was in Magic the Gathering news. We also do top 10 lists. This week we covered top 10 vampires, which is why I'm all dressed up with no place to go. And I've also been doing a lot of voiceover work recently for a variety of outlets, but in particular, today, the history of vampires came out at CoolStuffInc.com, and you can catch a whole coverage of all of the 25 years of vampires in Magic the Gathering over there as well.
Sweet.
Ooh.
That video kicked ass. You killed it on the mic, and Jay and Ellie did a hell of a job writing that one. So let's go over to the couch. Let's get a couple of fact checks in, and then we'll get the verdict from Echo the Dolphin. So, Zuby?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Yo.
Not doing too bad.
Aw, you're on kiss timeout. Yeah.
Yeah. No one wants to kiss me. Not even Johnny.
Oh, God.
just keeps looking away.
Go to hentai
We'll get one of the beagles.
Yeah, there you go.
Aw.
I'm done with that.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, facts. They all picked magic cards.
That's a fact.
And they all do things.
That's also a fact.
2 facts.
Stellar analysis.
There you go.
That is why we don't pay him the big bucks.
Hey, wait.
Watching a baseball game again.
No, I'm not. Oh shit, that's right. It's World Series.
Great. And there goes
dang.
Zuby.
Oh shit.
All right.
Thank you for reminding me.
I definitely should have picked Blue Eyes White Dragon as my sleeper pick. No one would have seen it coming.
It's true.
No.
Excellent.
Charizard.
All right. Echo, are you still with us?
I'm still here. Based on the votes that came in, it was tight, but it ended up being in favor for Zbex.
Zbex gets the nod up 2-1. Unfortunately, that means our very dapper, well-dressed Ruben Bressler, the Mox Ruby himself, is mathematically eliminated from the match. But man, was this a close one. This was razor thin. Especially that last round could have been anyone's game. Man. If you don't mind, why don't you stick around, Ruben, and just enjoy this as a spectator sport for the.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. So it is now a head-to-head. Well, so if Zenaide wins round 4, she's the winner of the match. If we have a very short, brief tiebreaker, if in fact that is the case, so if Ahren wins this next round, then we go to that sudden death. But even if this is a head-to-head for round 4, so let's get right into it. PK, those golden pipes.
Yes. Wow. Thank you. Question number 4. With Halloween merely days away, you know what time it is. It's time to talk about the next MTG plane on the hype train. That's right. Life After Eldraine will be bringing us a return to Theros in January 2020. With that in mind, we want your most speculations. That's what it says. I don't know. Of the seemingly 57 mechanics of Theros, which keyword ability would be the best to make a return in 2020? Which format do you see gaining the most benefit from a return to Theros? Got it?
All right, so Zbex, you get to pick the order. Are you going first or Ahren?
Ahren can go first.
Okay. And this is this last round is kind of a speed round, so that is 60 seconds on the clock.
Yep. Go ahead.
All right. So the return to Theros, the mechanic that I think is going to get the love is Constellation. There was a very strong Constellation deck that was in Theros Standard that had Eidolon of Blossoms, Doomwake Giant, and it used the enchantment creature type, which was a Journey into Nyx thing. That in discussions that I've had afterwards with the lead designer of that set, Ethan Fleischer, was something that they, in retrospect, would have liked to put throughout the entire set instead of just there. The biggest benefit set that I see getting from Constellation Return would be Pioneer. There's already a fairly
5
comprehensive Enchantress deck, and Constellation would be an excellent addition.
You got it. Zbex.
Okay, so the ability mechanic that I think that would be best to return would be heroic. Like all of the gods that we know, they're so heroic, which is whenever you cast a spell that targets it, you get a benefit. So design-wise, there's a lot of creativity. You know, you could have whenever, it's heroic, you gain a life. It could be it does damage. It could be that it gets a +1/+1 counter. You've got all sorts of arrows that you can throw heroically at your creature. So I think Pioneer would definitely be the format that would benefit the most of it, because the heroic deck from Blue-White back in the Theros day was very strong, and I think there's a lot of creatures that could benefit. There's a lot of
15
different
seconds.
spells that can target. So you're going to have a very large pool, maybe Modern too, but especially Pioneer, since you're going to have
5.
a large pool to go from. So yeah, and of course Standard and Limited will have fun with it too.
That's time.
Excellent. Ruben, you are now a spectator, so you could kind of lend your expertise as well. So out of Consolation and Heroic, thinking back to Theros, which one was your favorite when the first trip to Theros?
I mean, I like both abilities. Personally, I'm a big fan of playing basic mountains and then playing spells with those basic mountains. And so Heroic is where I usually played. I played like 15 mountains with all of the Akroan Crusaders in that boss red deck. I do like Heroic quite a bit, get my hammer hands on. Constellation's more of my co-host Aaron Campbell's bag. But I do love Constellation. Eidolon of Blossoms is a scary card. Doomwake Giant is a scary card. And if both of those abilities came back, I would not be sad.
Absolutely. All right, let's go right into rebuttals, starting with Ahren.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So my rebuttal is simply this. Heroic outside of a standard environment just straight up isn't good enough. It doesn't create its own archetype. And it doesn't stand up against things like the reason there's no Heroic deck in Modern is because Bogles exists. So there's already a better version of that, whereas Constellation is an archetype defining keyword, and it almost single-handedly allows the Enchantress archetype, which is a classic going all the way back to the beginning of Magic, to exist in the current time period.
Excellent. All right. Let's go to Zebex for your rebuttal.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
well, as far as Constellation as a mechanic, I really do enjoy that because I do play Tuvasa as a commander. However, speaking to the format that it would benefit the most, which my opponent said would be Pioneer, I disagree because using his former argument of Aetherflux Reservoir being the sleeper card and there being 14 zero-drop artifacts, I see a lot more people focusing on artifacts for Pioneer. And although Enchantress is fun and does date back ways, what about Holy Strength? That also, there's a lot of pump spells back in Alpha that can be referenced. And I think you can get just as much flavor for having pump spells that when you target something or, whatever it is, not just pump spells, but you get an extra ability off of that. I think that's going to be a lot more diverse for a lot more colors and a lot more players to be interested in.
Whew. All right.
Hey.
Let's close out this round. Ahren, start out with your closing argument for the final round. This is for all the marbles, sir. 60 seconds on the clock.
Okay. Go ahead.
Constellation is a mechanic that allows design space in every color. It doesn't require the creatures to be targeted. And so you can have something like an Unholy Strength that will maybe trigger multiple things, whereas Heroic generally only deals with a single creature because they also had Strive. That was the thing that deals with multiple creatures at additional cost. I just think that the enchantment type doesn't have enough love in the past 10 or so years of Magic. We don't have the
15 seconds.
We don't have the Shroud Enchantress from back in the day because people are very confused by Shroud. So giving that a shot in the arm, I think benefits the most people.
It's time.
All right, this is tough. Chat, you want this one too? Oh God! All right, let's go right to Zebex. Let's close it out. This is the final.
All right.
Closing statement. 60 seconds.
Well, okay. As much as my opponent just said that Constellation would benefit the most people, I don't really think it would because I think when I'm looking at deck building, the number of enchantments that go into my list, and I realize that having more Constellation might encourage people to play more, but we need to think about this if we're thinking about the entire card pool of Pioneer. similar to how many cards of energy there are. If there's only the cards from both Journey into Nyx and the one Theros set, that's only two, a small set and a large set where we're getting more in constellation cards. We had 2 Kaladesh cards for energy. I just don't think it's going to be enough. And just to get back to Heroic, I think Heroic is so fun. I think aggressive players are going to like it. I think tempo players are going to like it. I think control players are going to like it. Combo players might even find a way to abuse some combos if they had the right mechanic on a Heroic creature. So for game design space and overall benefit, Heroic's the way to go.
Time.
All right. Oh, geez. Constellation versus Heroic. Zenaide Beckham versus Ahren. Ruben, where are you? All the facts are in. I just want to hear. I want to kind of hear everyone's thoughts. Bringing back these two, and I know you said Constellation was more Ahren's jam and Heroic was more your jam. But now with did either of their arguments kind of sway your decision?
You know, I think that these are the 2 abilities from the original Theros that are the 2 that are the most likely to have any impact in the older formats going forward. Devotion, they're going to power down if they bring it back. The gods have changed, of course. Even Monstrosity, which saw a lot of standard play, I don't think that the design teams are as enamored with Monstrosity. I definitely think that Heroic has room for growth and expansion. I think that Constellation has room for growth and expansion. The right kind of cards getting printed in either of those 2 keywords could certainly see them be even more powerful than they already are.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get some tales from the couch. Zuby, any facts to did everyone kind of stay within the margins?
Yeah, everyone stay within the margins, but I do want to make a note that Constellation was only in Journey into Nyx. According to what I'm seeing, it was not in Theros or Born of the Gods.
Right.
Yeah, that's why it's only in one small set. Then it would only be in one large set coming out.
So just going based off what Zenaide said, that Heroic was in all 3, so the card pool for Constellation is very small.
All right.
Yeah, they have said that if they could go back, like if they could do it again, that Constellation would have been through the entire set.
Through the entire block, you mean?
Yeah. Or I'm sorry, the entire block.
All right, Echo the Dolphin Slivers. How are you feeling? I've asked the chat. How are you feeling about this round?
I'm feeling this one's pretty strong. I think Zenaide bringing up the point with the fact that there are more heroic cards in the pool already, regardless of whatever format they would be playing in. There's more room for expansion there, unless they went real heavy on Constellation. So there's a numbers game going on there, even though Constellation may be the stronger of the 2 as far as bringing them back. The fact that there's already a pool for Heroic to expand on, that there might be an edge there on the numbers, but I like the argument for Constellation. It's a question of, can they put enough in there for it to be something that can cross the boundaries of standard into other formats?
Sure, absolutely. Who knew? I knew dolphins were intelligent animals, but that was very eloquent. PK, what? I don't think you were playing during the last Theros block, so...
No, I don't know what anyone's talking about, honestly. I have no idea. I'm just here. I don't know.
Are you more... with all the information you just got, would you be more excited for a Heroic style deck or a Constellation deck?
I don't... I'm going to be honest, I don't know what either of those things mean.
So, a Heroic, basically you target a creature and it gets bigger, or it does an effect with another spell. And then Constellation is you change it into an aura, essentially. And then if that creature dies, then it falls off and becomes a creature.
That's bestow.
Yeah, that's bestow.
Constellation is play an enchantment, get a benefit.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, sorry. I
like
swear I knew
my
that.
creatures
something, get a benefit, or play an enchantment, get a benefit.
We're starting this round again. No, I was joking. No, I got it.
I like making my creatures bigger because I like aggro creatures punch you in the face. So heroic.
I just want to point out that I have 100% support in the chat.
Well, if this was
There you
round
go.
3, sir, where were they on round 3? Okay, so just going over the meat and potatoes here. Consolation, you brought up Eidolon of Blossoms. That thing was just a house during Journey into Nyx, where Journey into Nyx, like we stated, was the only set. It was a small set that featured. Journey to Nyx was a small set, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a small set. And then to feature this, so we have a lot smaller of a pool, and that's what Zebex kind of stated as well. So we could kind of broaden this out to Pioneer, Enchantress, more enchantment love, and yeah, it's just kind of broadening that, building on that. And then Zebex said heroic variations. You got a much bigger card pool. No one could argue that. Saying ties in with other Flux artifacts, and yeah, just not enough constellation support that she said would affect Pioneer. Both insanely great arguments. I hate to have to pick one, and this whole thing has been razor thin. I think that Ruben should still be in this too. So,
I agree.
I agree.
Like, this is crazy, but I just have to say,
I blame Slivers.
if I'm thinking
That's fine.
about what I want to see, especially with an
fine.
infusion of Pioneer, and I played Blue-White Heroic to death, I want to see more consolation. So Ahren takes it. So we're going to prolong this thing a tad bit, and I'm sorry to everyone, but I just can't. I can't be. Yeah, I have to be honest. So okay,
It's okay. This next question is fun.
okay.
I like this one.
Okay,
This
so
is a
let's
good
do
question.
tiebreaker round 5. This is for all the marbles. Let's get it going. We don't even have to do a closing statement. We're just going to do the initial pick, and then we're going to do
Yep.
rebuttal, and that's it. 60 seconds for both.
Okay, the question.
Ahren,
Quick.
you going first or second? That's
I'll go second.
okay.
Okay, ready? Question.
Yes.
Quick, Gordon Ramsay has the flu. Pick a planeswalker to sub in as the host of his latest cooking show, Ramsay's Raucous Roast-Off. Who do you pick, and why are they the best fit for the job? 60 seconds on the clock. Zenaide, go
All
ahead.
right. Well, I'm going to pick Nissa because she deals with the hottest firehead all of the time, Chandra. So she already knows how to tame the fire outside of the kitchen. So Nissa's definitely going to be a master of taming the fire inside the kitchen. Also, Nissa has great botanical references for what herbs and spices will make the dish be great, along with the scorching that she's already learned how to tame. So you can better bet that this little beag is going to be looking to scoop some seconds off of Nissa's counter.
I love they all end in like infomercial pitches. They're just fantastic.
It's great.
All right, Ahren, 60 seconds on the clock.
Go ahead.
Okay. My Planeswalker cook pick is Xenagos the Reveler.
What?
Okay. He brings the fire, right? He has Reveler in his name. He creates line cooks and prep guys. They all have haste.
All inclusive.
Okay.
Yeah.
He has yes, I know I should have picked Oko, but it's too on the nose, right?
Come on.
No, unacceptable, right? So you've got Eidolon of the Great Rebel for your fire source. You've got green red satyrs with haste. They're
10
servers, they're cooks, they're everything. And it's a party. He's the god of revels.
Okay.
Like, name a better dinner party host than that.
It's time.
Zenaide, close it out. Yeah, go ahead, Ruben.
I was going to say, for the record, you all missed Kiora. And just like the best possible sushi bar that you could
Oh
ever
my
ask
god,
for.
yeah.
Good.
I'm especially disappointed in Mr. Hentai, who didn't want to go with the octopus creator, the master of the depths, who beckons the most delicious raw fish dishes that are available. But you do you with whatever you want to be doing over there.
Okay, so here's the thing. If you watch the original Iron Chef, and this is 100% true, the original Iron Chef, the Japanese show, there's a Japanese holiday called Girls' Day.
Mm-hmm.
And they had an episode that was dedicated to Girls' Day. and they had a secret ingredient, and I legit sat there. I was in front of the television, and I was like, please, God, tell me that the secret ingredient is not going to be clams. And then 2 seconds later, he whips the tablecloth off, and he just goes, clams! And I was like, what is happening?
No.
Like, is this even real life right now? And it totally was. And you can fact check that because it happened.
No.
Oh man, yeah. Kiora is kind of the one woman Rio seafood buffet all by herself. Zenaide, let's close it out.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, I just gotta say, you can't really pick Xena Ghost against Xena because that is my name. So obviously my pick is essentially, you're trying to say that Xena Ghost, like as a good partier. I mean, that's why I picked Nissa, because I am Zenaide. And Nissa doesn't need to worry about having the greatest reveling of parties because she's more focused on the candlelight dinner aspect.
Ooh.
With if you ever watch the cooking shows, they're looking for presentation and, you know, the way that you're emulsifying and your techniques and things that I can't do, but Nissa can, and she's gonna really
15.
seal the deal for that proposal night.
Oh.
Oh man, it's more intimate. All right,
Wow.
Ahren, it's all
Go
right.
ahead.
Here's the problem with having a mono green host. You don't make friends with salad. You don't make friends with salad. You don't make friends with
What?
salad. You don't make friends with salad. You can't have that, right? You need somebody who's going to bring a whole pig or, a satyr.
Uh-huh.
You need somebody who's going to bring a bunch of different kinds of food. You can't just have a mono green person at the helm.
Is that it? You got 30 seconds.
That's it. What else is there?
Okay. That's it.
I brought a song.
You lean hard on the
Yeah,
salad.
You did. You did.
All right.
Right? Didn't you see that episode of The Simpsons that probably aired when you were like 7 years old?
No.
I know
got
you
the
did.
reference.
Okay, good.
Okay, so, man, being an a food and beverage manager for Caesar's Palace, I could definitely appreciate a person that's all inclusive, right? He's bringing the entire team to do all the work, and but they're satyrs, so they're going to be too reveling, too busy to be cleaning up. It's just going to be even more mess. So it's almost counterproductive.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you do have variety because I do like a little bit of steak on my salad. But I do like the more intimate setting. It's a little quieter. You know, I'm a little older now. I'm kind of over the Vegas scene. That's why I moved away to Seattle.
Anthony's Steakhouse.
Yeah, there we go. Shit, I don't know. This one's tough. And it's so much writing on the. Really, nothing's writing on. I'm not paying anybody. But the winner of this episode, and this was really hard. Before that, let's go to the couch. Let's buy me a second in time. Zuby, all everything's in. Do you go just straight salad, or do you go a little bit of meat on your salad?
I mean, would Nissa just be a vegetarian though?
I think so.
No, I think she has meats too. That's why
okay.
she torches stuff. She knows how to kindle the flame.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I got
dang.
Williamson pointing out that Gruel's got the best grog. So there's
Okay.
that.
There's that. Okay. Yes.
And mushrooms.
Yeah. Go
Oh,
watch
let's
our
go
D&D
back.
episode for that. PK.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a really tough one. I think both contestants brought really strong arguments. I like just a salad. I'm fine with that. But sometimes you want a little bit of chicken or even some beef on your salad.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Oh man, this was real rough. I hate this.
What the fuck?
Drum roll, please. The match. I'm gonna get so much shit for this. The match goes to Ahren. The match goes to Ahren. I'm sorry, Zenaide. It was so razor thin. You did this could have gone to anyone. Like, I still feel like Ruben should be in this. Like I said before, what a hard fought match. Oh my god.
It was so close.
This was
so
nuts.
close.
Thank you all for competing. No losers here. Everyone's a winner. Well, at least for the contestants, not myself included. But let's sign off. Let's sign off, everyone. Ruben, first PK. Let's do the quick interview, the exit interviews.
Yeah. Okay. So, Zenaide, how did you prepare for this evening?
Well, you did give us some very vague hints, and you said to know about your monsters on the D&D Rolodex. So I did watch a short 25-minute video while I was driving home, or like I listened to it, about the 10 scariest monsters in D&D, and then I didn't even use one of those monsters because I thought when you read the question we had to select one of those 3.
That's okay.
But otherwise, I just used all of my magic knowledge because I'm a huge magic nerd.
Yes.
Yeah. You won the D&D round,
definitely.
though, so yeah.
Which is crazy. So I guess my preparation helped.
Yeah, definitely. I think it did. That's the question you want.
And Zenaide, who would you want to see again? If I could co-hoax, my brain is jelly at this point.
What?
If I could bribe you into coming back on, who would you like to call out in the multiverse specifically as an opponent? I
don't know. Geez, I think it would be fun. We should get definitely Trapixium in here. Okay. Steven, speaking of reveling Xenagos.
That was a trap pick for
sure.
Should
be fun. And then who else do we got? I don't know, maybe like let's get can we have someone from Wizards on, like Tom Ross? Let's get him on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Nice.
Ephraim says Mark Rosewater, so yeah, sure.
We're just throwing out names, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get Jesus Christ on here.
I would love to go up against Mark Rosewater. I'm game for that.
Yes, that would be awesome. And we had so much fun tonight that it actually broke Ruben's computer. So in this is perfect fashion, hashtag potato. But yeah, Ruben's computer crashed, but we get stuck on this great picture of him, and you can find him at MoxRuby. He did a hell of a job. That was awesome stuff. PK, then for Ahren, closing interview.
Yeah, but everyone, real quick, let's make the face that Ruben is making real quick. Everybody do it. Didn't we do it?
Right, I'm a dolphin.
Hold on. Go to the couch.
We're on a different screen, so I don't think it
matters. Couch, do it, quick.
That's okay. I'm a dolphin making a face.
Face is it?
Make the face.
Okay.
There we go. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So, Ahren, what did you feel like the turning point was? Because you started out real rocky tonight. But something happened and you just came back from that. What was the turning point?
Probably when I just let the really, really, really gross stuff go and just sort of moved into the mainstream a little more.
Normal.
Yeah.
It's a little easier
round though.
It's easier. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. When people aren't watching, they'll be like, all right, they've got incognito tabs open just like everybody else.
Right.
But when they're out in public, they're like, oh no, I'm not down with any of that stuff.
We did do
it killed Oko. There's
a long time ago together.
Yeah. With a time spiral card, no less.
I'm still really upset nobody picked Oko for that last tiebreaker question.
It's too easy.
I had to pick my favorite. It was the first thing that came to my head.
All right, let's do
Oko pick too easy.
Let's do a few quick around the horn sign-offs. Where can everyone find you? Let's go to the couch first. Echo the Dolphin, quick. Where can everyone find you?
Lord. You can find me under the sea. And you can also find me at Johnny Slivers on Twitter and here at They Said We Said on the Street Hooligans.
Johnny, make a dolphin sound, quick.
It's pretty damn good.
Thank you. Magic with Zuby, when people are not supposed to kiss you, where can everyone find you?
Everybody can find me on just Magic with Zuby, my podcast, and all that sign off that I usually do. On Twitter, on Facebook, all that stuff.
He's watching a game, distracted.
Yeah, I'm distracted by the World Series right now.
Fair enough. Zenaide Beckham, thank you so much for being such a strong competitor tonight. Again, this was the hardest decision I ever had to make, but we hope to see you back on here. And where can everyone find you? Thanks for being such an awesome sport.
Hey, thanks. I had a lot of fun, and I would totally come back on again. This has been a really fun night. Everyone can go find me on any social media page at ZBEXX. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Patreon, at ZBEX.
Awesome stuff. Ahren, what a performance tonight. Different performance, but one that still pulled it out. Oh, nice. She has a sticker. Ahren, where can everyone find you?
Oh, that's awesome.
And I wish my branding was that consistent. Like, because there's some places that Turn One Thoughtseize all spelled out is too long for their like username and stuff. So it's split between T, the number 1 Thoughtseize, and Turn One Thoughtseize all spelled out. So the website is probably the easiest place. It's Turn One Thoughtseize, all spelled out.com. That has all the stuff. But if you search for Turn One Thoughtseize on any place that you can possibly get a podcast, you will find us there. And we're 4-ish years in, 4 years in, still going strong. And just we're going to start obviously doing more Pioneer stuff along with the modern content that we've always brought, and I'm looking forward to it. It's a pretty exciting time.
Excellent. Thank you again, my friend, for coming back on. My co-captain tonight, PK. Where can everyone find you?
Everyone can find me on YouTube and Twitch under Pixie Kitten Plays, and on Twitter, PKP_magic, and have a really big, exciting announcement coming out this Friday on Twitter. So make sure you're watching for that.
What's the announcement? What's it about?
I can't tell you until Friday.
I hate these announcements of announcements. Come on, tell us.
Okay, Willow.
If it's a gender reveal, don't make it a pipe bomb.
What?
What the hell?
What? It's not that.
You guys didn't hear about this?
No.
What?
No.
There was these people, and they were having one of those stupid gender reveal parties, and they were trying to make like a smoke bomb, but they accidentally made a pipe bomb.
Oh no!
Oh my God.
And like people went to the hospital, like shrapnel.
It's magic related. Like,
don't
it's
worry,
not...
folks. Mom's okay. Yeah.
What was the gender?
Explosion? I don't know.
Still don't know.
It doesn't have.
They're still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
They're still.
I'll do the fact checking on that.
Yeah, please fact check that. Well, with that said, if you like this, if you like Supreme Verdict, come on back, because we got some really cool stuff planned. This is all via 10th Street Hooligans, and They Said We Said. Again, sponsored by cardshere.com, simply the very best place to buy, sell, trade your paper Magic Gathering cards online. If you want to talk magic or movies with me, you could do so on Twitter at OrzovDone. And until next time, let's wipe the board.
Holy crap, somebody died.